Always behind bio.
The Raider way, or the Raider tenets of commitment to excellence, just win, baby. Once a Raider, always a Raider.
To the back, and he's caught! There for the touchdown! Zach Wilson throws in traffic. It's picked off by Robert Spillane. Spillane taking off. He's down. He's in a little bit of trouble, but Adams gets him out of it. He got free in the secondary to the 23-yard. Adams, he's got it! Touchdown Raiders! Oh, a dice roll in Vegas for 6. The Raiders at the 40-yard line, and O'Connell wants to take a deep shot. And he's got Trey Tucker out there, Tucker diving, and he makes the catch inside the 10.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Raider Nation, stand up.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. From the gang called niggas with attitude. When I'm caught, 5 yards, Davis is safety. The safety by Crosby. You too, boy, if you fuck with me. The police are gonna have to come and get me off your ass. That's how I'm going out. For the punk motherfuckers that's showing out. Intercepted. Good night. Going off on the motherfucker like that. With a gat that's pointed at your ass.
What's up?
Tell them where you're from.
Straight out of Compton. Another crazy ass. Folks, how are you? Welcome inside Allegiant Stadium to Sunday Night Football and the home opener for the Las Vegas.
Hey, real quick, just stay where you are. You don't need to move. Hey, we talked about a fucking blank piece of paper. First half's over. You know what I'm saying, right? This is going through that same mentality, that same energy, the same focus, attention to details, and listen, all gas, no brakes.
And looking downfield for Devontae Adams. He's got it.
The number
Touchdown.
you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Yeah, trendsetter. Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No.
It's cool when they do it. It's the problem when we do it.
Yeah, Rico hit it dead center. hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, is no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no different. Blindfold on me, I still got the most vision. Trendsetter told them before, but they don't listen. Better, bring a better bad because I'm bigger, better. Solo, single, selling several shows at every single second. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Kinda came and crushed the competition, hope they get the message. Look, living it fast, spinning my M&M bag. I never go slow, thinking I'll crash. End up a thing in the past, they know I won't though. Big fish catching me, they gon' need a bigger boat. Ironic how the world stops when I spin a globe.
Since Tay knows history, Tay's really good at history. He said last week we was on the wrong side. Well, this week, goddammit, we're on the right side. 63 points, franchise goddamn record.
Salute Raider Nation. Appreciate y'all showing up, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Salute to the mods in the chat, man. Salute to everybody here on the panel. Salute to Rudy. Salute to Eric. And salute to Noah. Appreciate all you guys showing up. If you guys haven't followed Noah, man, make sure to go to his Instagram page and give him a follow. He has a pretty cool page going on over there. What is it still called? The Depressed Raider Fan?
Yeah, it's still the same thing. Still Depressed Raiders fan.
Yeah, so like I say, go give it a follow, man. He always puts out great content. Follow everybody here. Rudy's got his Instagram, so does Eric. What is yours? Careless Streamer, right? So give him a follow over there. Rudy's is what is it? Raider Nation Forever? Is that what yours is? 60.
Yep, Raider Nation Forever, 1979.
1979, man. So like I say, really do appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody here in the chat. Salute to Seth, man. Salute to Aaron. Salute to Harvey. Appreciate all you guys, man. So outside of that, pretty much hop into a few topics here pretty right away about Aidan, man. Like I've been saying for a long time, man, I feel like a lot of people when it comes to putting out content, they will hate on what people put out there, you know, over the time span of what people put or say if it doesn't fit their narratives. I've said, dude, ever since last year, Aidan was going to be the starting quarterback. I've said it. I said his yardage. I told everybody before we were done with this season. I mean, I've advocated it the whole entire time. I told everybody when AP came over here and he said, hey, man, we were going to go in there on Media Row, and he advocated that he was going to make those go up there and get Jaden, that we weren't going to do it. I said that's the craziest shit I ever seen at any given time. I've said that the second that Tom Telesco got here and they interviewed him and started talking about him, about, you know, the draft and who he thought they would go, the one thing he did advocate instantly right after the fact of the players in the draft, he said, but I really do like the quarterback that we got here in Aidan O'Connell. Went through a lot of adversity, showed a lot of poise. The kids showed a lot going on through there. So Telesco literally told you right away. AP told us at the end of the year right away that he liked him a lot. Hey, enough. And long story short, they talked about basically, you know, going through the coaching staff, going through the OC, it was a pretty tough deal, man. Can you guys be quiet, please? And then going through the changes with Josh, going to Bo Hardigree, which I cannot stress enough. That was just straight trash, man. I mean, the guy is nothing. I don't know how you guys, when you guys look at Raider Nation, and you sit here and look at all the coaches that have been through here, the people, Faith, be quiet. So you look at the coaches that's came through here as the real coaches. You've had John Gruden, OC guru, man. The guy is great at his everything. I mean, people can disagree with a few things about him, but the guy is phenomenal at what he does. But the guy that sat underneath him was Greg Olson. Greg Olson's been under McVay, and you know, he's been under numerous people, but long story short, let's just say McVay and John Gruden, and he still doesn't hold a OC job. So even being here and so on. So the narrative got to get the hell out of here that when these head coaches like Josh McDaniels, he's another offensive guru. He's the one that runs it. He's the one that controls it. He's the one that it goes through him. He had Mick fucking Lombardi. Mick Lombardi's trash, dude. The guy ain't got a fucking job. He ain't going to get a job, dude. Like, it's just like I said, the guy's as garbage as his dad. So at the end of the day, at the end of the day, like I've said, with either one of these guys, none of them have been good. Then you're going to go over here and you go to Bo Hardigree. Bo Hardigree has good stats, like good sitting stature as a coach behind the scenes with, communicating, no different than Greg Olson or anything like that. But he's still not an offensive coordinator. It's the same thing with Rich Bisaccia, all these people, man. There's a reason when they left, they have yet to get the damn job. But the Raiders are always the first fucking people to advocate for them to have the job, man. And that goes with Gardner Mitchell's trash ass. That the second that we got him, every person advocated that he's going to be the starter. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. I've said the whole time, the guy throws at the fucking toes, man. Like, the guy throws at people's knees. He's never up in the front of people. He's never got the ball right where it's at. You can go back and see. If you watch a highlight reel, of course, they're going to show the best the best plays that the guy is throwing over the whole time. But when you're watching games and he gets over there, and again, go look at the last play of the game of the season when he had the chance to extend it and so on and didn't. Like, all I'm saying is everybody has falters or not, but this is things that we have to face, man. I said that the guy's been here for 5 years in the NFL. He's yet to have a job. Be quiet, you will. Now be quiet. Shut up. Now, the thing that is said is he's been in the NFL for 5 years. His first year, he had 21-6, dude, with 3,200 yards, right? Listen, freaking Nick Foles, dude, was over there with the Colts, dude. He had 28-4 and got fucking shit canned. So it doesn't matter when dudes are putting up little numbers like that. Those are not starting numbers that they want. And sure in the fuck at 21-6, that's why he didn't stay the starter of the Jags. Then he went to Philadelphia as a backup. Then he went over to the Colts as a backup, but then Richardson ended up getting hurt, and they wanted to start the rookie over him. So that should have just spoke massive right there to begin with. And then not only that, he goes out, he plays 17 games, he only gets 15 fucking touchdowns. I mean, I'm not understanding when people sit here and say, well, look, he had Gardner, or he didn't have Devontae and Josh Jacobs. You're right. He had fucking Taylor, which is a lead ass fucking halfback. He had fucking Pittman, dude. He had numerous receivers over there for the Colts, tight end. I mean, it's not like the guy didn't have no weapons. He most definitely had fucking weapons, dude. And again, he put up 3,300 yards with 15 fucking touchdowns and 9 interceptions. Like, listen, I've been telling you guys this whole fucking journey, dude. I feel like I already told you guys it didn't matter who we drafted in that draft. If we drafted somebody, that it was going to be Aidan at the helm. I've said it the whole entire time, and I know that it's going to be that. Let me tell you guys something real quick. Aidan didn't fucking change from the 4 to the 12 jersey to sit the fuck on the bench. I'll tell you that right now. And they didn't just give him a historic fucking number and be like, yeah, go sit on the bench with the fucking number 12 jersey. I mean, they're not going to do that shit, dude. Like, Aidan's going to be the damn quarterback, dude. And I've said until Aidan gets hurt or something just massively, drastically changes, I'm telling you, he's going to be the quarterback. I don't think there's any doubt in my damn mind. I've said it from the damn get-go. I've said if you sit here and look at this dude's stats or things or the way that he runs, man, he's ran pretty well. Even in the games that you look at of the adversity of everything that he's gone through, the coaches, and again, Hardigree is garbage. Look at it like this. With Bo Hardigree being the coach, right? Bo Hardigree being the coach, calling the plays, Aidan still had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking games that were over 200 yards. And he had what? Damn near 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 out, maybe 6 out of those that were damn near 250 or more. So for having a shit ass OC and sitting there to be 20 of 31 for 244 with 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, dude. He got 30 of 47 for 299, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 9 of 21, 62 fucking yards. Everybody has their bad games, especially as a rookie that never even got to start with the number 1 starters or wasn't even planning to fucking start or anything. Then you go in the next, there's 20 of 34 for 248, 4 fucking touchdowns, 21 of 32 for 171, interception, 23, 33, 248. I mean, the guy got good numbers, man. It's not like he's sitting here just putting up shit ass numbers, dude, where he ain't doing nothing. And for everybody out there that thinks that, is they're just fucking crazy, dude. I mean, you sit here and look, in his first year, he got sacked 24 fucking times. Derek Carr, and then what did he get sacked? Like 60 or so? Like, I mean, people can get sacked and shit like that. It doesn't mean nothing, dude. I mean, when they put the line out there, he gets put in the system that's going to help favor him for what he's known for. The kid's going to fucking slay it, man. I mean, there's not a doubt in my mind about if he's going to slay or how he's going to work. I've been saying this the whole entire time. I've never changed my opinion about it, and I'm not going to change my opinion about it, you know? So the other thing, I fucking hate when my screen does that shit. Oh, fuck. You guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Either way, I don't know why my camera ain't showing up, but either way, I'll bring it up once I let you guys start talking. But this is the other thing that I've been talking about too, about Aidan, dude. Aidan is accurate as shit, dude, and I've said it over the time of what he's done, you know, and how. And here he comes, shows up to camp. This guy has been on the rush, dude. He's talked about, you know, how like the adrenaline is affecting him, or how things like keep being in these type of situations. It's just been really hard, but he's going to come in here with the best that he can. He wants to be as great as physically possible. I mean, he's got Max's dude behind the scenes. He's got Tom Brady's ex guy behind the scene. I mean, again, the guy is going through every single deal that's going to, you know, basically get him to where he's going to go. I feel. I want to make sure I'm on the right one. This is a post from Raiders Daily, man. If you don't follow him, make sure to go follow him. But this is something I wanted to point out. This is freaking Gardner Minshew here. And this is exactly my point here about what, like, the player that's there. This guy's been in the league for 5 years, dude. 5 years. These are intermediate throws. Look at Aidan right here. Dot. Rap. Spiral. Just dot right on it. Fucking sits over here. Look at this dude. He's lean and mean, bro. This dude look like he's in goddamn good shape. Dot again. Fucking right on it. Gardner, here, fucking stoner, fucking Rico motherfucker over here. Gets over here, bat, fucking right down at the bottom of the net. Fucking knee, dick sucker every time. He gets him in the dick sucker every time. This one again, fucking right in the top over the deal. Like, he's right over the top and in the middle. He's not even on the damn target. You look at Aidan, boom, right on, right in it. He got accuracy like a motherfucker. And for people to sit here and say, like, oh, he's not going to be mobile and he's not going to be able to go and do these things. Bullshit, dude. I mean, look at the kid. He looks like he's in pretty damn good shape to me. So I don't know where people are coming up with that narrative or not. You look at Aidan's ball when he's throwing it, dude, it looks clean, dude. Everything comes out of this dude look like a wounded fucking duck. He looked like a wounded duck.
That thing,
look
I gotta
at
agree.
Aidan.
And that thing that people are saying about Aidan's ability is bullshit. It's because he had very hard of it. You can look at Aidan's last year at Purdue.
Man, like,
yeah,
look at him. He just looks solid. He looks like a real quarterback this year. He looks like he got the muscle, the build. He got everything to him, man. Like, I've just said, I'm not a Gardner dude, and I've said even with Gardner being over there, he had a good ass team, dude. And I just feel like 15 touchdowns, man. I can't. For me, I'm not for it, dude. And I've said he just throws at the people's toes and knees, dude. He's another fucking Jimmy Garoppolo, man. Like, if you're just asking me, I believe like Aidan. Look at Aidan. He looks like a fucking real man, dude. He looks like a real fucking quarterback, dude. Like, he's just like, bah. You look at him from a year ago, dude. He didn't even feel like he didn't even have that stature looking at him. You know what I mean? He looked a little thin, all fucking up, dude. Like, you look at him this year, dude. He looks like he's fucking pretty nice. And I'm not going to lie, dude. Like, Gardner should be slapping this shit down. He's been doing these drills for 5 years now, dude. You know what I mean? So Aidan just fucking rap. Fucking here you go. Oh, here you go. Fucking turn. Blink. Fucking right on it. I'm telling you, man. I mean, I've said, and I'm gonna stick by it, dude. Aidan's going to be the dude. I strongly believe it, and I'm gonna stick with it. But I don't know. We'll start with you, Noah, man. I appreciate you being on here. How do you feel? What do you think? And what's your opinion? I'm gonna reset my deal real quick, but I'll be right back.
Yeah, no problem. In regards to Aiden, especially towards the end of last year, I really was in favor of him being the number one QB going into the year if we didn't get a quarterback in the draft. As we saw last month, nothing happened. Even signing Gardner Minshew to be competition for the number one spot. Right now we don't know. I'd like to see both of them play at least in the preseason. Obviously, we saw Gardner last year with Indianapolis, like basically almost save their season and then throw it away on that 4th and 1. Obviously Aiden has had his struggles. That obviously those games against Kansas City and Miami, in games, and for once you can actually blame the lack of experience that our quarterback has and the lack of familiarity with the system he would be running. Obviously you're going into a whole new off season, a whole new, 5-6 months to learn a new playbook and, prepare for the regular season rather than having those 3 to 4 months plus mini camp and then being essentially thrown to the wolves because your coach is completely inept. This time around you got Luke Getsy. Obviously, he had his fallout in Chicago, but we can see what he did at least in 22 with the Fields over there and how he made that offense click like that. Applying that type of optimism to this team and using Aiden O'Connell as the plug-in instead of Justin Fields, let alone having the mounts of riches we have compared to that Chicago squad. You can easily lock that this team will have a higher success rate with Aiden this year than last year. I mean, it's gonna be as simple as that. Even if you put in Minshew, it's still gonna be much greater than it was last year. If you play Minshew, he's gonna be better than what AOC was last year. If you play AOC this year, he's gonna be better than what AOC played last year. So in reality, it doesn't really matter who starts right now. We'll see, like us, the fans, will be watching, training camp and preseason. We'll be reading the news, and then of course you'll have the scouts and the coaches. They'll be actually watching everything unfold in practice, going over film, going over lessons in the playbook, and all that jazz when they're in their positional meetings and everything when it comes down to cut down day. So right now, I'm in favor of AOC starting, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter to me until I actually get to see both quarterbacks perform on the field.
Heck yeah, no, I mean, shoot, like I said, I agree. Ozzy, you have anything you want to add about it?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. Other than with Noah, I think Aiden will be the starter. I don't think I need to wait and see. I think he will be the starter. But other than that, I agree with everything he said. The other thing I wanted to talk on what you were saying earlier is that I think it's bullshit when people think Aiden doesn't have mobility because they're judging him just off his first year in the NFL. They're not looking back at what he did in Purdue. I mean, you just look at his final year in Purdue. Yes, he might not have the yards, but you can clearly see that he can move around he can step back in the pocket, he can sidestep in the pocket, he can move up in the pocket, he can roll out of the pocket, he can even run for first downs, he can run for touchdowns at the goal line. Like, he has that level of mobility that a young Big Ben would have. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at a young Big Ben with the Steelers before he got old and shit, he used to have the similar mobility within the pocket. He's not going to be no fucking Lamar Jackson or nothing like that, but he has enough mobility within the pocket to avoid the rush and to get first downs if it's a third and short, or to get a quarterback sneak in at the goal line to get a touchdown, that kind of shit. Or even if it's like 2-3 yards from the goal line. He's done it at Purdue, so you can't say he can't do it when the kid's already done it before he came to the NFL. You know what I mean? And another thing people got to look at is you can't judge Aiden's career based off shitty ass play calling by both fucking Hardigree. You just can't do that. this year you should if you want to be a fair evaluator, you should pretty much look at this as Aiden's true freshman year because he finally has a real fucking offensive coordinator finally. Like that's how you're going to kind of look at it. The only time that Aidan had a true offensive coordinator, as much as people, I don't, I agree with people that fucking McDumb shit fucked up everything. He was at least a real OC. Fucking Bo Hardery wasn't. He's another, like you said, he's another Greg Olson clipboard holder. And most of Aidan's games were under fucking Bo Hardery. And he was also the quarterback's coach. So that makes me question his development year one. If the dude can't call plays, that makes me question his ability as a quarterback's coach to begin with. So now we've got a guy who was the quarterback's coach for fucking Aaron Rodgers and fucking Jordan Love, who also worked with Devontae Adams as a wide receiving coach while in Green Bay. So that kind of Getsy obviously has a more proven record as a coach, not just as an OC, but as a coach overall, as to his development for players. So this year to me is Aiden's first real, like, we'll see what Aidan really is this year. And if he doesn't step up to the task, then we'll be dropping a quarterback at the end of this year, market.
Yep, I mean, like they said, dude, over here, hey, like I said, they said over there in the rush and so on. I mean, he had the chance to leave and go with the guy to train with him. He chose to stay here and work out, dude, so he can get himself up. I've said, dude, our place ain't no joke, dude. They have, hey, enough. They have real trainers. They have real people. That they get their developments.
That's facts.
When you look at Max, dude, he's been the whole experiment the whole entire time, and every single person that's come in after him, they've all developed. They've all become pretty good people. I mean, look at Kuntz. Look at freaking Tyree coming in year 2. I mean, you have a lot of people here that are like, look at Tucker. I mean, you're going to look at Mayer. Look at all these dudes. I mean, Mayer looks big as fuck right now, dude. I mean, it's always that year 2 leap, dude. I mean, I've said about the Tyree Wilson dude.
I can't remember the dude's name.
That dude got legs like this, dude. Like,
that's facts. And I can't remember the dude's name, but he looks like he's of some kind of like Asian descent. But that's the guy that runs like the nutrition program for the Raiders. That dude knows what the fuck he's doing because, like you said, every young player that we come in is a bit lean or whatever. By year 2, 3, they bulked up massively. So their nutrition and workout, like regime or whatever you want to call it, their schedule, whatever, they must be doing that shit to a T. Because look at Max year 1 compared to Max year 3, 4. Look at Kuntz in year 3 compared to year 1, 2. Like you can see the jumps, and you can see it through training and by dieting and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've always said I think our program here has always been at the top, man. And there's a reason why freaking John Gruden's son stayed here and didn't get shit canned with the rest of people. There's certain people that have the production when they do our scale against our team. You get those results. We've had great results about like everything in our whole entire staff, everything in our organization from being in our new faculty. But long story short, Eric, what do you think? How do you feel about it, and what do you think?
Okay, honestly, Aiden's killing it in practice, right? And AP is raving about it. Yeah, I feel more comfortable with Aidan being the guy versus Minshew. Minshew is more of the insurance, like the plan B, bearing injury. Aidan. And I feel that he's earned the right to be the starter, and he already has chemistry with a lot of other guys on the team. So he's set already. He's set. All he has to do is go out there and perform. And being from a person who was QB8 on the depth chart at Purdue to now being starting quarterback for the Raiders is a great accomplishment. Like, it's a dream come true. Because usually colleges, it's 4th strings. He was an 8th string on this Purdue team. Ended up being the starter like a year or so later. So he's used to being an underdog and rising from like anywhere. He has the opportunity of a lifetime. You have Devontae Adams, you have Kobe Myers, you have Michael Mayer, and you have Brock Bowers. He's gonna succeed so good in this offense. I cannot wait for week 1. But like how you guys mentioned preseason, that's when we first got a preview of how good Aidan could be. But then Josh McIdiot didn't see that. I think him and Jimmy was busy, flipping, hoes, down there in Vegas because ain't no way, bro. But I'm with Aidan. Simple as that. Now come preseason, he should probably play maybe a couple snaps and let Minshew and Anthony Brown and Bradley's son, let them duke it out in preseason. Let Aidan literally take a couple snaps. But in my eyes, he's their guy.
Yeah, nope, I agree. I mean, like I said, I think freaking Aiden's been the guy. I think that he'll be the guy. I think like when it comes down, like you just said, I think you're going to let Anthony Brown and Carter Bradley battle it out for that position because you're going to have 3 quarterbacks just because the rule allows you to have that other player on the roster for nothing. So I don't see why you want to have them there to begin with. You know what I mean? So unless they just feel like Mitchell and them would be great, then that's what you do. That's what you do. But I've said it the whole entire time, man. If the Raiders felt that they were a quarterback away from winning or that was their hinder, they would have fucking went for one, dude. They never went for one ever. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many people out here, dude, that were so stuck on give up the farm, 4 first-round picks, fucking 4 second-round picks. Like, they were so stuck on it forever, dude. Like, how do you sit there and say, like, oh, and then act like it didn't even matter, and then people still are bashing Aidan? Like, okay, all you guys said that they were going to give up 4 firsts for Jalen, which I said fucking bullshit. And again, if they felt like that was there were all kind of quarterbacks, dude. We could have traded up with numerous people to be able to get a quarterback towards the end easily. You know what I mean? And I kept telling people that Bo Nix was going to end up going to the Broncos, man. And everybody was like, nope, these guys are 2nd-round picks. They're not going to go in the first, man. Like, a lot of these guys don't even know what the hell they're talking about when they're trying to evaluate players in college to the NFL at all, like literally, dude. So I keep saying we've done mocks. Even me and Ozzy done mocks, and I'd even like to bring up that damn mock just so we can reiterate it on the people that were there and what they went. But the only problem was like there was like JC Latham and them. I don't think he was even up on the boards at that time when we did it, but still we picked a lot of those picks. But I still feel like it. Like I've said, I think Aidan is going to most definitely be the guy, dude. I mean, he's most definitely bulked up. He's most definitely going to get stronger. He's most definitely going to get more. And listen, he doesn't need to be a rushing quarterback, dude. He just needs to know when the pocket breaks down. He needs to get up out of there and do something. He doesn't need to go out there and try to go get first downs every deal with his feet. He needs to find the player, throw it to him.
That's right. All he needs to do is move around the pocket like Brady did.
Yeah,
like stepping up in the middle, stepping side to side, and rolling out and play action. That's the main things he needs to do.
Facts, Rudy. So, what do you feel?
Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, I said, how do you feel about it? Or who do you pick, or what do you feel?
I would definitely take Aidan O'Connell. Like I said, Minshew, he's a journeyman. He's a backup and all that. Aidan O'Connell, like I said, I am a critic of Aidan O'Connell. I mean, I'm always a critic. I start out as a critic, and sometimes you don't win. Some people win them really quick. Like Derek Carr, I was a critic with him. Some people may not realize it. We got Derek Carr. So, oh, it's David Carr's little brother. Okay. I was okay. And then I said, well, this guy's a little gothic. And, Derek Carr won my respect. It's too early with Aidan O'Connell to win my respect. I know his pros and cons. He is a smart quarterback. I think he fits better, more systematic. I don't think he's a gun shooting quarterback. I think he is pocket presence. He could run in the middle. I think he's a lot more mobile than a Tom Brady. Brady was never mobile, but he was smart. He knew how to get rid of the ball. And some people would say the same way with Joe Montana. Montana wasn't mobile at all, but he was smart. He had eyes behind his head. That's what they said Montana is. I think with this guy, he may not have the strongest arm. I think he has the strongest arm on the roster, maybe, but he could throw the ball. I think he's more like a Brock Purdy. I mean, him and Brock Purdy are very similar. You know, Purdy's not a very accurate guy, but he's smart when to throw the ball. He's not a sharpshooter where he's gonna throw it right in coverage. I mean, that's just not Aidan O'Connell either. He's not a guy that could throw it like Derek Carr. Derek Carr could throw it like with guys on him. He's not that kind of quarterback. He wants to throw the ball when the guy's freaking open and he'll hit him accurately. But when it comes to guys that play good coverage and all that, yeah, he's going to struggle right there, you know. But you got big tight ends like Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. You don't have to be accurate. You just throw that ball up higher where they're going to catch the ball right in front of the smaller coverage guy, whether it's a linebacker, a safety, or a corner, you know, which I think that's going to get him out of trouble a little bit to put the pressure off of him. That would be the smartest move. I think that even if we don't go 10 wins or anything, I think he'll still have a better year than last year. He could still have a good year, and we could still be like an 8 or 9 team and still have a good year, you know. But if he starts going like 6 wins and he's starting to drop and they put Minshew in, yeah, most definitely we would draft a quarterback. I don't think we'll go 6 wins. I think we're somewhere, I think at worst 7 wins and at best 9 wins. But you got to be a 10-win team to at least make it to be a 6 or 7 seed. That's how I look at it. And it's a very competitive division in the AFC division. It's very competitive. And we can have a record. We could be 10 wins and not make the playoffs. I mean, that's a possibility. This is a very competitive division. So, and we have one of the toughest, we have a much tougher schedule than we did last year. I mean, the only teams that were really tough was mostly Buffalo and Miami and the Steelers and the Chiefs. That was it. The other teams were pretty freaking easy. This is a much tougher schedule. So it's going to be a challenge for the Raiders. And I do think Aidan will have a better year than last year, but he's going to be playing a lot more than he did last year. But his GP quarterback rating may not be high, but he'll have more yards. He'll have more touchdowns than he had last year because his quarterback rating was a lot higher because he didn't play as much. And yes, he was second place, behind C.J. Stroud. And they put him at 4th place, which is not true. I looked at both their stats like you did, Dustin, and he had over 2,000 passing yards. And Levis of the Tennessee Titans, he was 3rd, and he only had 1,800 passing yards. And C.J. Stroud was the one with the highest with 4,000 passing yards. So I think with Aidan, he could be probably a 3,000-yard passer. You know, I think that I'd be surprised if he goes 4,000. I mean, it can happen, but I think realistically he's a 3,000-yard passing quarterback.
I'll put my money. I'll bet he goes 4,000. I mean, he was in the Pac-10 and he threw for 3,200 yards, man, with 31 or 32 touchdowns. So I'd most definitely bet, and that was in 13 games, and we got 17. So I think he can probably push 4,000, especially with these type of players. I mean,
possible.
I think the thing, like when you look at C.J. Stroud, he had, he got to obviously start with the season with his team. He got to play all the games with them. Yeah. He got a full 17 games played. You got to remember he only played what did he have? What was he, 5-4, which only gives him 9 games played, but I think he had a total of 11 coming in and out, for the quarterback. But I think when this guy gets a chance, look at the throws this guy throws. He has damn good ball, dude. Like, he got good ball, good placement, throw down the sidelines, throw in the centers, dude. I mean, I get, like you say, he can throw into coverage. I mean, I watched him throw in triple coverage just to start this video. I mean, it's not something that he wants to do every time. But the one thing that you can see in his progressions is that he always finds the one-on-ones. Like, he always finds the one-on-ones. He's favoring his dude the most. And not only that, he's finding pockets like that. Finding slots like that, giving the dude
that was wide open.
You know, and that's the thing. He goes through the progression to give that player that. There's nothing wrong with the guy being wide open. That's what his job is, to find the wide open
Oh
player.
yeah.
That's
Well,
what
yeah.
his
Like
job
I
is.
said,
I
if he's
and
got
look
better
right there.
receivers,
Look
and
right there with Devontae. He could have thrown to the underplay right there where the dude was wide open. He chose to go over the two of those guys to go get it, you know? So I think it just comes down to the play. You got to remember, rookie player, dude, don't really know the fucking scheme that well or being out there. The guy gets thrown out there, dude, and you got to do what you got to do. I mean, but when you watch this guy, once he starts getting things underneath him, I mean, look at that arm, dude. That's a goddamn 50, 60
that guy
yard
was burnt already, though.
It doesn't matter. He throws it right on the guy. It don't matter if the guy's burnt or not.
Like I said, you can't expect every receiver to be like a gumshoe thrower, because there's not a lot of quarterbacks that are like that, exception to like a Patrick Mahomes, even Justin Herbert, and even Derek Carr, and even Josh Allen. He's not that type of quarterback. He's the kind. It's a little bit more like Brock Purdy.
I don't think anybody
Might not
knows what
be-
type of quarterback he is. He never got to even show anybody. And Brock Purdy plays in a scheme type system. Brock Purdy wouldn't
That's
be
wide
shit if he
open.
left that team. Brock Purdy goes somewhere else, he would never be the same quarterback. So
Well, yeah, of course, Brock Purdy's systematic. And
yeah,
plus,
to imply
if you
that
look
to
at the
Aidan,
receivers he has,
Aiden's never even been in a deal like
Aiden's
that.
got
He
good
ain't
receivers,
not
and he
under
took
Kyle
advantage of
Shanahan,
that, which is
dude. I
the smartest
mean,
thing. The
he
smartest thing
didn't
to
get
do is you
coached
have
by
great
Kyle
receivers.
Shanahan. He got fucking got play called by fucking Bo Hardegree. See, that's the thing where I feel like it's just insane how you can't compare him to what they're doing there. I started this show off, when you got coaches like them that are offensive gurus, there's a big fucking difference. They're offensive gurus. The three dudes I name, as in Mick Lombardi, Greg Olson, and fucking Bo Hardegree, they are fucking the farthest thing from it. The farthest fucking thing from it. So to sit in
Greg
and
Olson's a
put
yes
him in
man.
a category like you're putting a guy that's in a category with Kyle Shanahan that's elite, and then we're comparing fucking Aidan with Bo Hardegree to that same stature. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, dude. I mean, the coaching staff isn't even remotely close to that one right there. This year, it could be a lot different. You got a guy that understands it, how he can build around it, take less pressure off him and not make him have to throw all the time, give him better run game. I mean, all that becomes down to the coaches, man. Like, to sit and give people like Mahomes and Purdy and all these dudes all the credit, man, their coaches are a massive fucking reason they're at that stature. Like, it's massive. It's not just little. It's fucking massive, dude. Like,
well, Patrick Mahomes, that was all Andy Reid. With the Chargers, no, that was Justin Herbert completely. He was like you were saying earlier. Jim Harbaugh said that the best quarterback he believes is Justin Herbert, not Patrick Mahomes, because
as a pure quarterback, that's what he said. Yes.
Yeah, that's what he said. And with Aidan O'Connell, like I said, it's going to have to depend. Like I said, Andy Reid, yes, he's lost some staff members, but he finds a way to win. Him not having his main OC, but he still finds a way. And the thing is, you gotta take down the main boss, and the main boss is Andy Reid. He's the main boss. He's the undisputed champ. And the way to beat the champ is, in order to be the champ, you gotta beat the champ. Just like to be the man, you gotta beat the man. That's just the way it is.
Sweet dreams too, kiddo. I love you too, kiddo.
Yeah, that's like the Ric Flair thing, to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
The brown football, or the brown soda. I mean, like you said, you got to beat them to be able to take them over. But man, I'm gonna say it, dude. I don't think the Chiefs are as good as people think they are, man. I mean, their players are falling off, dude. I mean, even Worthy, dude, the guy hasn't really been much of shit for their
draft. They lost a lot of good players. They lost a lot last year, and then they lost their corner, which, like my little brother, he's a Chiefs fan. He said that losing Snead, that's a big loss on defense. And the Chiefs depend on their pass rush, and when you have a corner, they're going to be, have corners that play soft, and no matter how good of a pass rush they are, There's going to be open receptions, and then you have Patrick Mahomes. He's going to have to play that. I got to do it all by myself, and that's where Andy Reid doesn't want Patrick Mahomes to be at. Is I got to outperform everybody, you know. And he's gotten away with it for a while, but then it catches up to him, and then he starts throwing interceptions or making more mistakes. You know, the pressure gets all on him, and you don't want that in any quarterback, no matter how good they are. You know, got to have a good defense to take that pressure off the quarterback. You know, so we'll have to see. The Chiefs, though, I would not say that they're a team to underestimate. They already proved it. They played like dog shit last year, and they still won the playoffs and went to the Super Bowl. So I would not underestimate the Chiefs.
I would say if we were there, they wanted to beat us, and we would have sent them home, and we beat them without our quarterback even making passes. So again, I think
don't know. The way they played in Arrowhead, they played like dog trash. They did not play at their best. Patrick Mahomes only scored 14 points, and usually if he just scores less than 14, he doesn't win games necessarily. That's usually true, but you know, like
most
I said,
of the games that he lost last year, if he didn't score over 21 points, he lost. So
yeah, you know, that's very rare because he doesn't. The Chiefs have never had an elite defense. They had a decent defense. They took chances. They blitzed a lot. I think with Andy Reid, he wants to make that defense a lot tougher, but the receiver core is where he was working at, and he wants Patrick Mahomes to have better receivers, you know, because when they had those better receivers, like when they had Tyreek Hill, or even when Tyreek Hill was gone and Juju Smith was there, Juju Smith actually did pretty damn good. But their running game is what helps is getting Patrick Mahomes out of trouble. If we could stop the run against the Chiefs a lot easier, we have a better chance at making Patrick Mahomes go 3 and out, and we can possibly beat them. And I say if we do beat the Chiefs, it would be probably like a 14-15, 14-21 points or somewhere around there.
I'm telling you, I think the Chiefs are going to get a rude awakening this year, man. I think their deal's about to. I think Andy Reid will start considering retirement, just like Kelsey's going to. I'm telling you, man, they're about to find out. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I'll bet money, dude. If I was going to bet money on a team that's going to be the toughest here, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I bet Harbaugh's team, once it gets developed, it's going to be one tough motherfucking team to beat, man. So at this time, I've kept saying it for years. The Chargers have had the team to beat the Chiefs. They just haven't had the coach to do it. That's the fucking facts, dude. I mean, roster-wise, defense, offense, they've had it the whole time, dude. So they weren't lacking it. Their coach just sucks dicks. So, again, with us, we've always had mediocre shit, dude. With this year, we have offense and defense, dude. So, listen, I'm willing to bet when I'll probably make this even more of a permanent bet once we get going and see where the staff is and see where Aidan and everybody is. But I'll be willing to bet, like, I'm willing to bet that I'll say it right now that we'll sweep the fucking Chiefs, dude. Like, I think with our team being more and solid together, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be as good as they think. I've said it, dude. They depend. Their Andy Reid's system depends on receivers and play. And Max said it clear as day. You put pressure on Max, dude, you ruin his whole fucking day, dude. And when we put the pressure like we did with the players we had, that wasn't even with dudes like Christian Wilkinson. That wasn't with dude to Tyree Wilson fucking getting healthy and fucking coming back looking like a fucking man. That wasn't with fucking, Malcolm Kuntz single-handed beat their ass. So, I mean, again, like I said, when you're looking at a front four with that fucking massive of a deal, listen, Patrick Mahomes can be what he wants, man. I mean, they can say whatever they want.
I can vote going to play a big role too.
Games to play, division games.
I think Tommy Eichenberg is going to play a big role in that, because even though he's a rookie, I think when you put Tommy Eichenberg next to Spillane at the second line, and then you have like Matt, Tyree, Wilkins, and Kuntz on the line, and then in the secondary you put whoever back there, whether it's Epson or maybe one of the rookies shows up, like a Trey Taylor, or even that guy I was telling you the other day, that Woo Governor kid, like someone like that shows up, we're going to have a deadly defense, bro.
Dude, our fucking secondary over there just having fucking Richardson and fucking Jack Jones there with Nate Hobbs.
Yeah,
and then
facts. That's what I was trying to think of, Richardson, yeah.
Four sitting on that line. Then you're looking at Spillane, Masterson, fucking Tommy and fucking Diablo. I mean, goddamn. I mean, I don't really give a fucking. Morik has played just fine last year, so the only question would be at Epps' health and so on. And if you're telling me they got Paulo and Taylor to be able to swap out with them, I mean, I don't think we're fucking like we're a way better team assembled than those motherfuckers, like by a mile.
We got
Like
better.
I can
we
sit
did
there and
take better
say
draft
Jones
capital
this,
last year.
Jones whatever. I can give a fuck. I can care less, dude. Our team is way better than theirs assembled right now. It's going to come down to the coaching. If our coaching is up there and our offense is there, good fucking luck. Good luck. Like, they can say whatever they want. I'm going to sit and stay straight up, dude. We beat their ass on Christmas Day in
That's
prime time
right.
game with not even throwing a fucking completion there,
And
dude.
here's a
So
hot take. Here's
I
a
don't
hot
even
take of
want
what
to
I'll
hear
say.
like well, Patrick Mahomes, some fucking god. He's not a god. Once they put the pressure on him, just
That's
like
fair.
fucking AP
Just like any
said,
other
man,
quarterback.
Jordan ruled that motherfucker, and he couldn't do shit. And it's a
And
fact.
here's
Even
another thing I'll add.
as elite as Mahomes and taking over games and coming back, well, he didn't come back that game,
And
so
here's
it didn't
another
work
thing I'll
out.
add too. We're adding in the secondary.
Salute,
We're adding
James.
guys.
Appreciate you, bro.
To James, we're adding guys in the secondary, right? That aren't afraid to hit a motherfucker. And I'm talking about guys like
Jones
Trace
stared him right in
Taylor,
the
that Blue
eyes when he picked
Gardner,
him off, dude, right to
even
the
Chris
house.
Smith. Yeah, even Chris Smith, who we picked up last year. They're all guys that can tackle and aren't afraid to hit. Like, I will not be surprised if you see those blitz packages where you have the box safety drop down and blitz Mahomes as well.
Yeah, I'm
so
like
he's going to have a ton of pressure.
Dude.
They're mostly going to be in coverage most of the time, but you'll see like occasionally when they think, oh, maybe there's an opportunity to blitz here because we've been playing like just a four-man front, just four guys going after the quarterback every time. So now we'll drop the safety in to go on a blitz when it looks like he's going to cover, and it'll be like a Trey Taylor or Wu Governor or one of those because those guys can hit, man. Like if you watch their college tape, they can hit.
Yeah, some of those dudes will be. They're just going to be freaking special team
Patrick
players.
Because mostly we would have never said this last year of how the defense, because we just we played like dog trash really bad the year before, and then our defense looks a lot better. Patrick Graham, it wasn't the problem. We originally thought it was, and to me, I always said it was Josh McDaniels was a problem. So if there's a problem with the defensive coordinator, it starts with the head coach first. And I was right about that. And Patrick Graham was never the problem. He's a good defensive coordinator. I do think our defense will be a lot better than last year. I do think so. And there's some promise in that defense.
So it's got way more continuity and way more consistency with them through the offseason and that whole year. Patrick Graham coming back, get to run his own team. And you got to remember, you got a guy like Marvin Lewis sitting over there in the background, dude. Like, you got some great motherfuckers right here, right now, that can add to this team being next level shit. So, like I said, this team's going to be one of the top 10, if not top 5 teams if it's all together.
I agree.
And I don't give a fuck if Aidan is the quarterback and people think, oh, yeah, Tom Brady had his best, coming out in year 2, man. So, I mean, everybody has their coming out, and people didn't sit there and say, oh, Tom Brady's going to be the next 7-time GOAT in his first year. Like, people can all have their assumptions however the fuck they want, dude. The difference is like Tom just had the will to win, dude. And once he got that time, once he got it, he never gave it back, man. And Aidan's going to do the exact same thing. He's too accurate. He's got too much going on for him. Luke Gesty is way better offensive coordinator. He's going to put him in better positions to be able to manage the ball better, dude. And again, like I said, him running the ball is going to take a lot of weight off him to begin with. So, like I said, to sit here and say, like, I kept telling everybody, you don't need a 5-star fucking quarterback to go out here and go to the Super Bowl. They've done it with fucking way lesser quarterbacks, dude. So, if you have the offense and the defense, and I've said, look at that front four. I mean, look at the front four. If Tyree's healthy and he comes out like he's supposed to, Christian Wilkins just in Max and Kuntz, just those 3 alone are fucking deadly as fuck. So, I mean, shit, dude. I mean, and again, if Tyree's there, I'm telling you, we might have the best 4 in football, the best 4 up front. I don't know another team that's going to have that caliber of play. I mean, again, you look at fucking Malcolm Kuntz when he came in. What do you have? 8 sacks, dude, in like 9 games, 10 games. I mean, the guy ain't nothing to mess around with. The dude is elite, dude. Imagine he comes out here on fucking 17 games and goes for 13 or 15 sacks, dude. I mean, oh man. And again, people will be like, yeah, I don't know. I'll bet anything he will. The guy, if he gets his start, dude, and he gets to run from the beginning, do not sleep on fucking Kuntz, man. He's too fast. He's too fucking strong, too agile, dude. He can get low, get up, get around, take double team. And I keep saying this, when you have dudes like Malcolm, Max, fucking Tyree, and Christian all on the line, dude, you cannot double one-on-one on them. There's fuck 3 of the players going to be one-on-one with the other somebody being doubled. So they're going to smoke them, bro. Like, I've sat and thought about it. I said I thought, man, with Max and Coons, I can see about 25 sacks, 26 sacks. You start looking at Christian, you start looking at Tyree, you can see us upwards of 40. Like, I can see us upwards of 40, 50 sacks this year, especially, and that's not including the safeties or cornerbacks or linebackers coming off the edge or not. I mean, I'm just saying, in just those 4, if we were just looking at 11 sack average, dude, would be 44 sacks on 11 sack average, dude. And that's not, that can be fucking Crosby at fucking 14, 15. It can be Tyree at 11. It can be Kuntz at fucking 10, 12. The average is just 11, but it get offset by the players. You know what I mean? And if you look at Wilkins, he's put up 8 to 10 sacks in a season. Like, you can see 40 fucking sacks here just between them 4 easily, man. Like, easy. So I think it's going to probably be our best year. Look, I'm almost willing to bet this is going to be one of our best years in a long time. It's just because of the continuity, the team, the players. I keep saying, like, Marvin Lewis, dude, he was with the Baltimore Ravens in the early 2000s. He's very smart when it comes to the defense. He ran with the Bengals for a long time. He is very consistent. I like him a lot, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I always liked Marvin Lewis. And sit there and say that he's on here. You got Joe Philbin, dude. That's a really good offensive mind, man. That's going to be over there game planning with Luke Gessie, throwing out ideas. You know, we got a lot of great personnel here, man. And then you're sitting here saying that you got, you know, Mayer, you got freaking Bowers, dude, and we're over here thinking like we're worried about the Chiefs. What fucking the Chiefs are better start getting fucking worried about us because one. Trey Tucker isn't like worthy. He's not sitting on the fucking bench and he ain't missing balls in camp, dude. Like Tucker came in here in year 1 and started balling out. In year 2, this dude's gonna smoke it, bro. And Aidan's gonna smoke it with Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers gonna have another baller year, you know. So, like I said, you're gonna have a lot of good continuity here. Devontae Adams, dude. I mean, that dual tight end. Then we ain't even talking about our halfbacks, dude. We're not even talking about Zamir or fucking Alexander or Dylan Alabe. I mean, you got so fucking much here. Our offense is dangerous, dude. It's most definitely dangerous. And when you're looking at the line, dude, I kept telling everybody, dude, we weren't going to go after the right tackle. I've said that we had the players here. We were going to get them throughout the line. And I even said we could have just got them through free agency. You're sitting there looking at Powers. I mean, that was the guy that we wanted to get.
That's fact. And I'll also add that Aidan's already been practicing with Tucker in the offseason at the time. Too. We talked about it on that podcast.
Dude, our offense is going to be fucking dangerous. And that's just going to be straight facts, dude. So you look at all of our talent here. Listen, when people want to sit here and say Luke Gessie ain't good, right? And he ain't done this and he ain't done that. He gave Justin Fields his best fucking career year. In the 1 year, he was fucking there. In the 1 year, he came there, and he was there partially of the second year. And again, DJ fucking Moore, dude, another guy that had career fucking year, leaving out of the Panthers and going over to the Bears, garbage ass place, don't even have fucking passing game fucking organization to begin with, and gave him his fucking best career year too. So to sit and say that the guy doesn't know what he's doing or doesn't know how to program or, you know, organize people. He had the number 1 and number 2 running game in all of the NFL, dude. I said if he took away freaking Justin
piggyback off of that,
fucking yards, he still had over 1,700 fucking yards. He still had one of the top running bad games. I mean, the guy is most definitely good at what he does. I've said, go look at Justin Fields' numbers in year one. They've substantially went up massively, dude, and then went off. So sit there and imply like Luke Getsy doesn't know. He most definitely knows, man. And even like Devontae said, it's going to be some form of West Coast offense. It'll just have his spin on it. You know what I mean? So people can keep saying and thinking all what they want, man. But for the most part, most of these dudes are fucking farther from the truth, man. Like easily farther from the truth. So I've said I get it. Like Mitchell is a good quarterback. I'm not gonna say like, hey, to have him as our backup, dude. It's not like I'm not against him to be here as a backup, dude. But when you're looking at 17 games, man, you're trying to go through them. It's just he's never showed in his touchdown to interception ratio has never been worth a shit, dude. So I mean, for me, I've said it. If you need a guy to go out there and win you, a few games, who better than to have him? But to sit here and imply that if he was to be our quarterback and that if we were to go out and have, decent season, that we would 100% be looking for a quarterback. There is not a fucking doubt in my mind. I've said it a million times. If Aidan fails this year, there's nothing that I'll put anything out there. We will 100% go for a quarterback. There's nothing that's going to say otherwise after that point because they know that they ain't got to admit you ain't going to do it. And they know that fucking Aidan ain't going to get it done. So you have nothing to lose, man. You have nothing to lose. The whole team's here. The last piece is the quarterback. And that's how you usually want to have your team, where you've already built the team, have it in place, and then go get your quarterback. And that can be a veteran quarterback that's a big name out there that might be on the end of his contract come next year and be looking to get out too. So you never know, man. It doesn't always have to be a drafted player. It can most definitely be a player of trade in the NFL. But if I'm just going to bet my money, man, like I bet it last year, I'm going to bet that we're not going to be looking for a quarterback after this year. I'll bet that Aidan O'Connell will be our future quarterback, and I'll stand by it. I'll stand by it the whole time like I've been doing the whole time because I've seen it in Aidan the whole time, man. The kid got a great arm, dude. He's got great awareness. He's got great accuracy. I watched a lot of times, dude, when people got through the line. I mean, there's not much a guy can do. I get it where people think it's a video game or because they can speak the words that it just means the player's going to do it. That's not how it works, dude. I mean, there's a lot of times when a player's looking through progressions and he don't see the line break down over here and he looks into it and the player's there's nowhere anybody's going to go, So I think for me, the number one things that I'm paying attention to, like Aidan was, is that he wasn't doing like Derek Carr and throwing the ball away on fourth down. I think those are probably more crucial moments for me right now, especially as a rookie. There were a few things that I saw Aidan do early on in the season when he became the quarterback, dude, and he did this in the end zone, I think, against the Chargers when he could have swept the Chargers. But the thing is what happened? What happened? Get off my chair like that. Hey, you gotta chill out, all right? All right, don't cry. I'm not feel, all right? And what? What happened?
Well, Dustin's off for a minute. Just want to also add that with Luke Getz, if you go look at his 2014, I believe, to 2017, and then again, and I think it was like 2019 or 2020 to 21 with Green Bay. Those years, he worked with guys like Adams and Rogers, and those guys also had like career numbers under Getsy when he was wide receiver or quarterbacks coach. So that just also adds to showing you why Getsy is a good offensive mind. Is he has worked with guys, and to give multiple guys career years, like career yardage or career touchdowns and career years.
Yeah, I feel like that's something people forget surrounding Luke Getsy. Like the reason Chicago hired him, was because he was able to basically bring Aaron Rodgers' career back from, the brink of being over. After 2018, Rodgers had his worst career year. The prior year he was coming off a broken collarbone, I think. And, in 2019, he came back. It was pretty good. 2020 and 2021 were the MVP seasons for Rodgers, and a large part was due to Luke Getsy and his role in calling the offense and the shots for
That's
Green
facts.
Bay.
Yep.
You know, I was saying this all last year, especially last offseason, or not even last year, 2022, when we first started this series when the Broncos hired Nathaniel Hackett because he was coming over from being the Packers quarterback coach. People were, or the narrative around Nathaniel Hackett was, oh, he's basically the guy that saved Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be the guy that brings Aaron Rodgers to Denver. And at the time, and I was right, and I'll still claim to this day that Luke Getsy was the guy that got Aaron Rodgers back on his game. He was the reason that Rodgers was able to keep Jordan Love benched for 3 damn years. So you look at his resume. Yes, things didn't work out in Chicago,
And that's
but
another, sorry to interrupt, but that's another thing to add is Jordan Love. His development going into this, like his development as a quarterback, like Jordan Love, that was partly due to Luke Getsy as well.
Right. Well, at least I'm not sure exactly Luke Getsy because he was there for 1 year, or 2 years rather, because Jordan
No,
Love
he
in
was there when they
22.
drafted Jordan Love, and
Yeah,
he was also
2020.
the Green Bay Packers quarterback coach at one point.
Right,
So
but he
he was
left
like
Green
he's worked
Bay.
as their offensive assistant, quarterbacks coach, and wide receiving coach. He's done all 3 of those roles at Green Bay.
Right, but as I'm saying, Love was drafted in 2020, and Getsy left after the 21 season where they lost to the 49ers in the divisional round because Nagy got fired by Chicago. So Love that final year in 22 sitting, he wasn't there to help, polish off the rest of his development. And obviously last year,
No, I don't mean the 22. I mean 21 season, just before he started last. In I think 22 is when Jordan Love started just playing like
Right.
starter quality snaps. Yeah, I'm talking about the year prior to that. 2021 is when behind the scenes Getsy was working with Jordan Love behind the scenes while
Right.
Aaron Rodgers was still starting.
Maybe. Obviously, I'm not a Packers fan. Maybe that's what happened. I believe 21 was the year where Rodgers missed the game in Kansas City for some reason, something with the media, or maybe it was COVID or something. And Love played that game in Kansas City, and he was so awful that I remember people were saying he was a bust after just playing that one singular game.
They thought he was a bust all the way up to like week 8 of this last season.
Yeah, and I was getting to that because I don't remember, and obviously you guys remember, but it's so far gone now. Like the way we see Jordan Love is a top 12, top 13 quarterback in the league. Like there are serious talks about people, considering Love will be the next great Packers quarterback. Or the Packers are stumbling into another great Hall of Fame QB. People forget that for the first 7-8 weeks of last year, he wasn't a good quarterback. I mean, you look at the Broncos game that they played, he was terrible. The Raiders game, obviously, 17 points only threw that game away on that terrible decision to throw. Was it Romeo Dobbs? I think. I don't remember the guy that he threw to, but when Meek had the game-sealing interception. So you
I
look
think that
at
was Christian Wilkins, wasn't it? Over on
Christian
the
Watson, yeah.
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 Or
I'm not
Watkins,
sure.
yeah, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. So, you look at his development. Obviously, this is post-Getsy, but you have to consider that maybe if he didn't get the development from sitting behind Rodgers or Getsy, that he'd still be in the same hole that he was now. Obviously, he could have figured it out without them. We'd never know that. That's a different timeline. But as for Getsy, he fixed Rodgers. That is what we know. So when we look at that and we're looking at the roster now, obviously you mentioned Ozzy that, him being the OC in Green Bay, he already has a connection with Devontae Adams. So, there's already, familiarity there. Um, so with that being said, Getsy, we'll see how the offense rolls around him. It could go super well, To the point where we're getting another, or in December, we're talking about this again, like Getsy fixing Rodgers and then Getsy elevating Aidan O'Connell's play. Or it could go so terrible that we'd be revisiting talks from last year regarding Josh McDaniels and the Jimmy Garoppolo connection that they supposedly had. So in reality, we don't know. Odds are it leans towards the former. And I have faith that Getty will be elevating AOC's and the offense's level of play rather than absolutely destroying it because of what he's done in the past with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and the thing that I would say is like the thing that I keep thinking about the most about Luke Getsy is that Devontae Adams advocated for Luke Getsy when he was there. He was the offensive coordinator, program, like he organizer, like he organized the play calling. So basically, that's what his job was. But the thing that I find to be funny is Devontae Adams advocates Luke Getsy over Nathaniel Hackett, which was the offensive fucking coordinator. So that's all I'm saying. Like, there's a lot that goes behind with Luke Getsy that obviously not me or anybody else sees up front. You know what I mean? But Devontae knows.
That's
Like,
facts.
Devontae
That's what I
knows.
was
He
saying
was
earlier
with
about the
them.
development
He
behind the
was
scenes.
there with them. He knows the way that he puts people and schemes them. And I've said it, like, how do you go over to the Bears, man? That's a shitty ass organization, dude, out for a while now, and then turn their run game into the number one and number two in the whole entire NFL, to take Justin Fields, I mean, in his first year, I mean, if we just look up his stats real quick under Luke Getsy's first year there, his shit turned around a lot. I mean, in 2021, man, when Justin Fields was drafted, he only put up 1,870 yards for 7 touchdowns and fucking 10 interceptions. Then in 2022, he jumped from 18 to 2,242 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions, which his rating went to an 85.2. Year 3, he went to 2,562 yards, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But again, he's also a dual threat runner. So when you look at his rushing in year 2, 2022, which was with Getsy, he didn't just have 2,242 yards with 17 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He also had 1,143 fucking rushing yards, dude, and 8 rushing touchdowns. So, I mean, for people to sit and say that Fields didn't have that Luke Getsy didn't have a play in there, they're dumb as hell. Like, obviously, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You can see in year 2 where Luke Getsy got fired, and they tried to blame it on him. His run game dropped off almost by half. He only had 657 yards with 4 rushing touchdowns, dude. So their production dropped off by half, which when did Luke Getsy get fired? Mid fucking year. So to sit here and advocate that he was the issue or not, I think is crazy. That's why I think he got the job. As many interviews as he did the second that the season was over, because he does do good. But again, we're sitting here looking at the Bears acting like they're fucking Hall of Fame team over here with the caliber of players they got, which are fucking nobodies. And he still fucking, just like he said out of his own mouth, you have to do something with nothing and find the players that can do the most with it and use them to the most that you can, which he did with fucking Justin Fields, 1,143 fucking yards. He almost broke Lamar's rushing record in year fucking 2 of his career. So, like I say, to sit here and just, say Luke ain't going to get the best out of the players or not. Listen, Devontae Adams chose to come here and stay here with the Raiders. He wants to be a Raider. So he most definitely chose that. And when he's sitting here choosing it, you got to think about it. If he wanted, let's just say that he wanted Luke Getsy, right? Or Kingsbury, right? Let's say that he wanted Kingsbury. You don't think that if he fucking told them, like, hey, man, I want a fucking Kingsbury, I think he's going to elevate my career and get me to the next level, that he wouldn't have fucking asked for him? Obviously, he didn't, man, because he felt the better pick was Luke Getsy. So, Salute, Robert. Appreciate you, man. He felt the better pick was Luke Gessie, dude. So at the end of the day, man, people can sit and think however they want when it comes to those dudes, but Devontae knows because he's been with them. He knows who he is. He knows what, his play calls. He knows how he's going to put people or where he's going to put them. So to me, I've said, and that's why it's the title here. The Raiders want Aidan to start. They've always wanted Aidan to start, man. They wanted to bring somebody in here that'd be able to coach Aidan, man. And that's probably a big part of why Kingsbury didn't work out too, is maybe he wanted to fucking go after a quarterback where they were like, man, we don't really want to go after a quarterback. We want to just stay pat where we're at. And we're going to see what we get, and I think he was probably like, hell, I want to go after somebody, and again, I've always said, just because one coach looks at a player and sees them one way doesn't mean everybody sees them the same way. And for us to just wash off Aidan O'Connell, man, and act like Aidan had a fair shot at the number one quarterback position, and we drafted him at the first, in the first round to be the starting quarterback in all these scenarios, that's the farthest thing from bullshit there is, dude. We did not do that. We didn't draft him to be the starting quarterback. We didn't draft him to go out there and take team one reps or any of that shit. We drafted him to be backup quarterback for the time being, which Josh seen the potential in Aidan. That's why he drafted him, because he did feel that there may have been a point that he could take over and be the starting quarterback. But again, Josh has fucking complex issues, dude. Like, so a lot of shit there wasn't going to work because of Josh. It isn't because of Aidan. Why did AP and them come right in, man, and then put all their money into Aidan and say, hey, we're going to let this dude start over the whole season, knowing that you still had Jimmy back there and everything else, and probably could have won the
my gum was bleeding, so then half of my tooth broke.
Half of your tooth broke?
The bottom broke. And we didn't see it until I opened my mouth, and we were being babysitted by Winnie. But when me and her were looking for the baby, we both were going to tell each other something, and then we ran into each other. This one hit my mouth, so then my gum was bleeding a lot. Winnie's mom put a paper towel or one of those.
Crazy, man. Reckon. So, long story short, I think, like I said, I think Aidan, man, as the camp goes on, the more and more that he's going to get to be gelling with the players, more knowing the play book. You have to remember, man, at the end of the day, salute, Mark, appreciate you, man. At the end of the day, you're going to want whoever the best quarterback or the best players are, regardless of what their name is. And for me, I mean, getting Aidan, I think we have a better future with Aidan than we'll ever have with Gardner Minshew, man. So that's why I'm advocating Aidan all the way. And I hope that he becomes starter, and I hope that he wins that deal, because I think over the long run, again, I think he's going to give us the best chance at this quarterback position. It's not even close. It's not even a debate, dude. I mean, you can look at Gardner. Gardner don't even look like Aidan. Aidan looks like he's solid, dude. Gardner don't even look solid, and we're just starting camp, So if Aidan's looking the way he's looking right now, I can only imagine Aidan getting better as the more and more that we go forward. So I'm going to say it and keep saying it, dude. I believe that Aidan will be the starting quarterback, and I'm not going to fear off of it. So outside of that, any you guys have anything else you want to add on this topic or no? Ozzy, Rudy, yay, nay?
Sorry, man, I had my mic muted. I was listening in. Yeah, the only thing I'll add is that, people need to, when they're giving an evaluation of a player, you've got to let them have a certain number of snaps or, time within the league before we can really say who they are or aren't. You can't really, like you were saying, you can't really judge a player based off of half a season. The golden rule of any rookie player should be that you don't really have that true evaluation till the end of year 3. I mean, look at Malcolm Kuntz as a prime example.
Malcolm Kuntz, it took him a few years until they finally gave him the chance to start.
That's why I don't say a player can't be something until maybe year 3 or 4. Because then you've got enough sample size to really truly evaluate them at that point. But and then there's nothing to say that at that point they still can't improve either, though. But it's just you have a more higher chance that you know who they are once it gets to like the end of year 3.
Yeah, facts. Rudy, you have anything you want to add? Rudy?
Oh, I was muted a while ago and I got muted again.
Yeah, because your mic is fucking hitting hella hard again.
I know what it is because I'm using headphones. I think it's the internet. I might have to drop it. I can come right back and it'll probably sound a lot better. I think that's what it is. It's the StreamYard carrier or something. Because, you know, it's been pretty good. I mean, you know, it's just I think it's the StreamYard thing. What I'll do is I'll drop off and I'll come right back.
It's all good. You're talking just fine right now, so I just.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I think right now with Aidan, he's not going to be threatened by Minshew. I think they're pretty much similar, except for Minshew is a little more experienced, but Aidan is a little more. He's a lot better in talent than Minshew. Like I said, they're similar, but except for the fact is that Aidan is a little more accomplished. It says the system UI isn't responding. Let me finish this. What I'm going to say, and I'll drop down and I'll come right back. I do believe that Aidan will definitely win the spot. I don't think Minshew is going to really threaten him. I think he's just a good plan B, just in case Aidan gets hurt or he gets real frustrated.
Did Zay Jones number was 12 for the Raiders?
It might have been. I don't remember.
I believe it was in his at least in his final year with Derek Carr. I believe it was.
I'll be right back.
It says that Martavius Bryant wore the 12 jersey in 2018. Bryce Butler 14, Jacoby Ford from 2010 to 2013. I don't even know how to say this guy's name. Chon Gallegos 62 to 62. Rich Gannon 99 to 04. Charlie Green 66 to 66. Howard Bay 0909. Rusty Hilger 85 to 87. Donald Hollis 98, Zay Jones 19 to 20, Paul Larson 60s, Todd Marnovich 91 92, Josh Cowan 07, Nick Packa 61, and then Kenny Stabler 70 to 79. So, I mean, you got two Hall of Famers instantly in Gannon and Stabler that have worn that jersey over the time at the quarterback position. So, like I say, man, I think he has a lot. You know, that's going to be on his deal. But I'm favoring him all the way, man. I'm just going to be honest. I'm favoring him all the way. So, pound the rock with Getsy. Zeus is in for a huge year. That's facts, bro. I mean, I agree, Mark. I mean, I think that Zeus is going to pound the rock, man. And I think Dylan is, dude. And I mean, like I've said, I can most definitely see them booting Amir Abdullah off of this team. And I can either see Amir staying and them cutting Alexander staying and Amir Abdullah getting cut. So, I mean, I think, like I said, we got a really good running back room here, man. So, I mean, shit, I'll take that all day long. So, if you're telling me that we're going to get Luke Gessie's type system when it comes to running and be productive like that, I mean, the Bears didn't have nobody special over there when it came to running the ball. I mean, let's be real. Didn't Montgomery, he got out of there and went to the fucking Lions and had better year over with the Lions than he did over there. So, I mean, you bring in Gessie over there, and then this is the whole thing where I think it just changed everything. Like, when you brought Gessie in here, you're probably just thinking like, okay, I got to run the backfield with Michael Mayer and these guys. So you're like figuring out deals. I think that's why you kind of go out and get Alexander. He's not a big player, but he's a big, stout, strong motherfucker. So I think you're trying to get a dude that kind of gives you a little bit of protection back there. But then you get a steal in the draft with the fucking Michael Bowers, dude, where the dude can just lay you right on your fucking ass, dude, and blocking. He can get out and off the play in the pass, dude. I mean, he's a receiver, a tight end. He's going to help out your run game massively. I mean, massively. And when you're putting both of them in the backfield behind the line that you got, a guy like Zeus or a guy like Dylan or any of them, dude, they're going to hit those gaps, dude, and take the fuck off, man. So, and I've said, like, you look at a lot of those plays there, you got Aidan playing really nice off the play action, dude, which I think is going to most definitely peace out yonder. Appreciate you, bro. I think playing off of the play action with Aidan is just going to favor him massively. But again, I don't know if Guesty will run that type of, well, he'll be in the West Coast, so I can most definitely see him running most definitely play action and so on. But I don't know. I think at the end of the day, Luke Gessie is way, like, people are just sleeping on him, man. Like, I'll be dead ass. And I don't know if you want to talk for a minute here, Ozzy, but I'll look up that Luke Gessie interview real quick so we can listen to him talk real quick too. Ozzy, you there?
Sorry, man. I just mute my mic when you're talking, so I don't make any like background noises while you're talking. No, I pretty much agree with everything you're saying. Like, I think that Luke Getsy could turn out to be a really good OC for us. I think compared to other coaching regimes, like you're talking earlier with Gruden, you kind of had Olsen, who was like more like a Bo Hardegree type OC. But I think this is probably the first time in a while, maybe since like a Bill Musgrave or someone like that we've had like a really, really good OC. So I'm really eager to see what this offense is actually capable of. And I said it in that video that I made about Aidan on IG that I think Getz is going to run a lot of 12 personnel, like 2 tight end sets and stuff. And I think there's going to be a lot of cases where you'll see Brock Bowers lined up as a receiver, or he might be lined up even as a H-back, as like a receiving H-back, and stuff like that. And I think we're going to run kind of like the running game a lot. Like you said, he had the number 1, number 2 rushing offenses. So we're definitely going to run the ball like a motherfucker. And I think what's going to happen is we'll run the ball most of the time. Like majority will be running the ball with Zeus, Lube, and whoever else, maybe Amir Abdullah. And then the other, 35, 40% will be like, play action, 12 personnel sets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I just want to bring up that guess who took over right tackle duties today going to OTAs? It was who? Theo Mumford. I got some other things I'm going to bring up here towards the end of the show about fucking haters and when it comes to content creating and shit, how people want to bring up things about stuff, but they don't ever want to hold themselves reliable on, the shit that they put out there. See, a lot of people want to come to DSR and try to hold me to the T of things that I say, but those guys can go to their pages and put shit, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's talk about Luke Gessie's interview here real quick. We'll listen to him for a second. Talk on basically how they're seeing things right here at the moment.
Part of the process that's going to go on for a while. When it comes to the quarterback situation, are there some traits that you're looking for in terms of making an ultimate decision? Let's going to go into that.
Yeah, I don't think traits necessarily is the right word. I think, the evaluation of performance on a whole. I think there's a lot of parts to it. I think it's the way that the operation, right, making sure we're taking care of the football, and then the production part of it. I think, like you said, this is a long process. We're at the beginning stages of it. Everyone trying to get a grasp of what we're trying to accomplish, not just the kids, but everybody. And so the good thing is we got a good group in that room. Those guys work their butt off and competitive, but they're great teammates too at the same time. So the beginning part of this thing has been a lot of fun.
Luke, people don't necessarily understand. You can't bring the Chicago Bears playbook here. Different personnel, different team coaches, everything. So I'm curious, you didn't know that they were going to pick a Brock Bowers. How much of your playbook right now do you think Are you still writing? Are you still going over? Are you still contemplating?
Yeah, I think there's certain things that are kind of non-negotiable in your play style, right? And the mindset that you want to bring, no matter what style of play you have to have. And fortunately, I've been around a lot of really good football coaches that have kind of exposed me to a lot of different styles of play and different ways of approaching teams, and find different ways to attack the different styles of defense that we face each week. And so that's never going to change. And I think
Are you playing with them?
Of our job is
but I don't know why you showed up.
thinking you have one style of roster, and in week 4 you can be in a completely different.
I don't know why you
For
played.
example, we had completely 2 different styles of QB in Chicago. And, you go to different games and you have different ways of playing the game, and so that part of it is all real. And I think the most important thing is finding a way to maximize the type of guy that you have, figuring out what they do well, and that's the phase that we're in right now. We're all trying to figure each other out, and figure out what we do best.
When you look at a pick like Brock Bowers, how excited are you to have him in the building, and how much do you think he'll be able to complement Michael Mayer as well within 12 personnel and kind of what they can do as a tandem?
Yeah, no, I'm extremely excited. I think Brock's a unique guy. I think it's been said here plenty of times. He was probably the best player in the SEC for some time there while he was there, and he won a bunch of games. And so anytime you can bring that type of caliber of player into your organization, you're going to get better. And you match him and you pair him with the talent that we already have here. I think that just makes you more dynamic. This league's about finding as many dynamic guys as you can.
Straight facts.
That's the goal.
Dad, how many squishy guys are there?
Everyone's trying to find
150 doing
and I think he's just one of those elements that gives us an opportunity to do a bunch of different things.
When we look at, speaking to the talent on the offense, when we look at Brock and Michael and Devontae, Jacoby, is this potentially the most talented group you've worked with in terms of weapons at your disposal?
It's a great group.
Fuck yeah, it is, dude. Easy. I bet you didn't have those kind of people over there in Green Bay at the time.
Aaron won 3 of his 4 MVPs while I was in Green Bay, and that's not because of just Aaron, right? I mean, there's a lot of talent around him too, and so this is a talented group, though. We're excited to work with them, and like you said, it's going to be really cool to find different ways to make it all mesh together. But we're really excited to work with everybody.
Thayer Mumford told us last year that he was more comfortable on the left side. I'm just curious. Obviously, Colton's the guy.
I love this part right here.
So how do you work with a young player, helping them develop comfort at other positions?
Yeah, I think as much as anything, when you have comfort in knowing what you're supposed to do, I think that gives you the confidence to go out and execute your assignment at a higher level. And so, I think what's unique about Thayer is that he is talented enough to play either side. And he showed that last year, right? I mean, playing on both sides, starting on both sides, I think that's a really cool element that we get to have exposure to. And so that part of it is whether you have more experience playing on one side or the other, that's usually what that's a reflection of. And more comfort, because you've done it more times. And so I think our style of play that we have and him have an opportunity to learn it right away now as we get into this thing, and him getting opportunities at one position will only benefit, and then he'll probably be saying it the other way.
He said he'll probably be saying it the other way by the time we're done.
Quarterback play was protecting the ball. I guess both from your philosophy and just your evaluation process of the quarterback, how do you balance protecting the ball with remaining aggressive and trying to find that balance where you're not just protecting the ball, but with the cost of getting explosive play?
Yeah, no, that's a really important. But all those factors go into it, right? If you're looking at a queue and then say they had 9 interceptions and 7 of them were at the end of a half with Hail Mary, like you just looked at the ratio and said it was 2 to 1, right? 18-9 or something like that. But let's evaluate the why or the how. I think that's what you get into. And then as you start to connect to the concepts and connect to the scheme and what your approach is and why you're trying to do what you're going to do, you start paying attention to the defense. And so now you say, okay, I know the way this hook defender is going to react, so I'm going to be aggressive to this throw. But when you're in those unknown worlds and you're thrown with kind of like uncertainty, those are the ones that you can't have. And so I think as everyone starts learning the system and learning what we're trying to accomplish with each and every play, then that's how you become more aggressive and more confident in what you're going to do. And then that's also leaning on your teammate too, trusting that they know what they're doing and why they're doing what they're doing as well.
I'm sure you've taken that deep dive into Aidan now in the last few months since taking this job. What is your evaluation of Aidan coming off that rookie season?
Yeah, no, I mean, to him to get thrown into the way he got thrown into, and to see the adversity. I mean, I think it was like a 0. They didn't score, and then they go score all those points. I mean, that's a really cool reflection of the type of kid that he is, and the approach that he brings. I mean, there's one thing that I would definitely pat him on the back for at this point is just the willingness to be taught, and willingness to be vulnerable, and this opportunity to get better. I mean, it's really cool to see a guy who's had success now really excited to learn some new stuff.
I know it's early in the process, but what have you thought about the running back room led by Zamir White?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool group. I think you have.
I think Zamir's going to punch some people in the face this year, bro.
Styles. But like I say all the time, I think I've said this too many times in my career. This isn't the time of the year for backs, right? Backs got to put pads on, and then that's really when you find out. And so, yeah, it's fun to see them, and they're fast.
That's facts, bro.
All their assignments, but we know that those types of players, when they get the pads on and train.
That's facts. Amir's going to punch people in the face, man. So I kept muting my mic and stuff because I'm just out and about at the moment. Didn't want too much traffic noise in the background of the show.
They're competitive with each other, and then, like I said, there's explosiveness in the group. There's pass catching in the group. There's toughness in the group. So there's a really cool blend of guys in that room.
Coming in as a new offensive coordinator, how important is it to get some of these veteran guys here for the non-mandatory OTAs to try and get as much installed as you can now?
Yeah, I think it's important to lay a foundation, and that's really, like I said, if we can establish our style and the brotherhood that we have in that room, we're gonna be just fine. And the schematic part of it is the second element of it, right? Guys got to be comfortable being able to react to things that happen, because the reality of it is we prepare them and we say it's going to look like this, and we call it for this, but there's often something that's slightly different. And those repetitions that you get with one another, that's how you become a leader.
Hey, Lucas, Sean Reed from the Athletic. It seems like you guys have a few different players on offense that can line up multiple spots, whether it's Devontae or Parker. As offensive coordinator, how much flexibility does that give you to kind of get creative and switch around your alignment in the pass game to try to take advantage of matchups?
Yeah, that's huge, right? Because if you, again, just looking across the league from a defensive perspective, everybody's trying to do that on defense too. They want the DN that can rush and cover. They want the linebacker that can rush and cover. They want the nickel that can fit a B gap and guard a slot, right? So everyone's trying to find that, and same thing on offense. We're doing the same thing, and the more flexibility you have with a player, that gives you more opportunity to do much different things. And then the second part of what you said is that the more people that you can have that can do those things, that's when your offense can get really good. That's when you have three different guys that can run one route, or three different guys that can do one type of concept. Now you're putting fear in the defense in a completely different way. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks, Luke. I ain't gonna lie, man. He says a lot of good things, man, and I like his demeanor. I like the way that he comes about things, dude. I mean, I like Luke Gessie, dude. I mean, I'm kind of excited to see what he brings to the table with our players, dude, because he seems pretty damn smart. He seems pretty intelligent. I think he's going to game scheme pretty well. You can see the same with him about Aidan, like nobody has a problem with Aidan. So I don't know why everybody keeps on acting like Aidan ain't a good quarterback, or we didn't want Aidan, or these type of things. I mean, I think it's just a shame. It's a shame for our team, or, for people to think that when we may even have the right guy here right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know. What do you guys think about that presser?
I agree, man. I mean,
sounds like a head coach. To be honest with you, he sounds exactly like a head coach. Is what he looks like. I'm thinking, like, if AP were to screw up, this guy could be the guy to take his place if it were to happen. That's what it's looking like to me, right? Just the way he talks. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Hey, don't get me wrong. I mean, like I said, he most definitely has that demeanor to him, dude. Like, and just like I said, he comes from a really good organization to begin with, man. Like he already, like I've said, dude, I like the people we brought here, man. And we're gonna listen to Patrick Graham's deal here too here in 1 second. But there's things about these people when they sit there and say, Theo Munford, for instance, he said that when he talked about being on the left side, do you think that, being on the left side with Colton Miller and him, would you change him or this or that? And he said, like, hey, man, if you put him in the right place and have him in the right deal, by the end of the day, he'll be saying the same thing on the other side, because he's confident that we're not changing fucking Colton Miller from the left tackle, for one, and for two, if Theo Munford's going to have a fighting chance here, it's going to be at the right tackle. It ain't going to be at the left tackle position. So that's just straight facts. You know what I mean? So then the quarterback, it's just like I've said, everybody's going to be where they're at with players. The tight end, the 12 personnel, I mean, Zeus, I mean, this guy, he got a fucking plethora of people, man. So, I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to get anything done here offensively, So, you guys have anything else you want to add on that, or?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback
up. Go, Rudy.
Go ahead. All right.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, if Miller got hurt, they would put Thayer Munford as the left, and then they would put someone else on the right. So they could just rotate if that were to happen. Because Thayer Munford is actually the second best left tackle on there, but he's a left/right tackle guy. So yeah, if Miller gets hurt, yeah, you could see Thayer Munford playing left tackle, and it wouldn't be a bad move, Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, if injury happens and you have to move people around, 100% agree. What were you gonna say, Ozzy?
I was just going to say, piggyback off what you and Rudy are saying, like, I agree. Like, Getsy sounds like he has the mentality of a head coach. And I wouldn't be surprised, not saying now or nothing, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the future at some point he doesn't get offered a head coaching job somewhere if he keeps going on the trajectory as a coach that he's going on right now. I mean, he's had success at Green Bay. And you can still say he had success at Chicago, despite the team overall not having success. But as a coach, he still had success, like you said. DJ Moore's best year, Fields' best year. So guys like that over the next couple of years, could come a point when we get
or whatever that dude's name was there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that dude.
People
yeah,
there.
exactly. What was his name? Komet or something? Cole Komet.
It's something like that. Yeah.
So the point I was making though is he's probably another candidate that in the future, like say 2-3 years from now, he might be a guy we might have to let go to get a head coaching job elsewhere. If AP or whoever else is still the head coach. And, that's something we might get draft capital for, similar to what we talked about previously with Graham. If Graham goes anywhere, same deal. I just feel like we're putting coaches into the team. Like a lot of them have head coaching potential. Like Graham has head coaching potential. Getsy has head coaching potential. So let's go on each side of the ball that's got head coaching potential. And then you've got the guy as a head coach that's like a high energy guy. So I feel like that's a good mixture because you don't need an X's guy's head coach if you have an X and O's guy at your OC and your DC. So that's why this mixture could work really well because it's almost like a perfect mix because you got an X and O's guy on both OC and DC and then a very high energy guy as your head coach. So if it all comes together really well, and then you got you got really good coordinators like you got what's his name, Cladwell and stuff. So like you got other guys underneath those two, the OC and DC under Getsy and Graham. They're also good at their shit. Like if you look at our roster, right, you go on the Raiders website, and then you look guys up. There was that other guy, the old guy who's been in the league 38 years, Philbin or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Joe Philbin.
That's the one. So I mean, if you look at our coaching staff from top to bottom, it's pretty nuts right now. We could have the best coaching staff overall, best organization, managed front office overall in the whole entire NFL right now.
I mean, I think we're going to have the best of a few categories by the time this year is over. So, not a doubt in my mind. We're going to listen to Patrick Graham here I really love what he says about Kuntz, man, because you can tell it's passionate as hell to him about Kuntz, which is a guy that I've been advocating since day one. Pick that fool to our squad, like as much as like me, Graf, and all these people have disagreed in things. Me and Graf were the ones that did say that we felt. I picked Kuntz to our team in that draft in that round that year. So did frickin' Graphic. And at the same time, I always said every time I was over there, 10 plus sacks, bro, 10 plus sacks. Like I was so high on Malcolm Kuntz, man. And when he came in year one and played in preseason, had all that hype, I was like, oh man, this dude's going to kill it, dude. And then they fucking healthy scratched him. And I thought, well, that's some bullshit. And then you got freaking, Josh doing what he was doing when Malcolm was under him. And I believe he did that just because of the fact of what he did to Carr during that camp, because I don't see any reason else why he would have did that. And then, long story short, that's why I believe, and I've strongly believed it ever since the day that AP said that about Aidan, because he said, we came in, we chose him, we put him in that spot, we wanted him there. And then you look at Malcolm Kuntz, man, they could have just kept rolling with Tyree there and just forced the issue. But he was like, nope, it's going to be Malcolm Kuntz's time to shine now. They would put Kuntz in there, and Kuntz didn't even look back, dude. He was just like, yeah, fuck it. And when you start seeing all those type of play, everybody's just starts taking off. You're like, okay, we didn't get any of these guys. Like, they're not all new. I mean, Jack Jones was new, but all the other players, they've all been here. So, when you start seeing that, you're like, damn, this team actually, or this coaching staff actually has the energy and the know-how to develop people. I mean, look at Jack Jones. Jack Jones, he was over there having issues with the Patriots, regardless of how people or himself want to put it. They were all having issues, and he ends up leaving there, comes here and balls the fuck out. So you got to remember, we picked him up through waiver, and we had to go through quite a bit of people in order to get to us. So, like I said, I think the energy's for real here, man. So, and that energy is gonna, all right. The energy is here, and the energy is for real because you can see it coming out of the players. So, long story short, when you see in this presser with Graham, when he was they asked him about Kuntz, and he looked down and he was like, Kuntz, you can tell right there. You can tell right there that Kuntz means a lot. The one thing I've always said, I'm really good at reading people, the way people's demeanors, things of this, but the way he looks, the minute that they bring up Mountain Kuntz, you can just see it's not a story like anybody else's or the passionate or how he feels. You can tell right away that this dude means a lot to Patrick Graham, not a little bit, a fucking lot, because it's almost like, it ain't his kid, but it's almost like he feels like it is because of how passionate he feels for him is how I felt. I really felt that way because I've listened to a lot of pressers, dude. Hey, you guys be quiet. I've listened to a lot of pressers and I've heard about how, people always talking, how some people fake talk, how they, some people are sincere and actually value players for being here in their organizations. And I'm just saying, Kuntz, man, I strongly believe he could have been a Khalil Max type person. Shut up. So fucking Malcolm, a Khalil Max type person coming off that school, being looked at in those deals. Everything matched up for him to be a great player, and I wasn't saying he's going to be Khalil Mack. I just felt he had the energy, he had the type, he had everything that was going out there for him, dude, and coming from the same school and, just all these things, man. I was just sitting there thinking boy, he can just be a killer for us. And then we got him, and I was like, oh, fuck, we're about to fucking wreck people, dude, and then watch him go. Like I said, I've always liked Malcolm to the fullest. I'm dead ass serious. You can look on my phones. You can look on all my old posts, dude. Like Malcolm, he's one of my favorite players, and I don't care if he was starting or not. I've always had a deal for Malcolm because he's always had, to me, felt like he's had that, like he's always had it. But for whatever reason, Gruden and Josh didn't want to let him do it, And then you look at fucking AP where he's a defensive guy and he's a linebacker and he's over there looking at Malcolm. He's like, why didn't you ever get a start, bro? Like, why didn't you starting out there? Well, you're going to start now. So I just think like those type of things. And then you look at Patrick Graham in this conversation. I always say like, coaches are here to coach and they do build bonds, but you can tell like Kuntz is coming into the leadership that Max is creating with him. And that's a Max Crosby environment that's getting Malcolm Kuntz to that next level. Kuntz has been here already in a time span. He has shown that he can do certain things, but the reality is that he hasn't started doing those things until Max Crosby starts pushing those to that next level. So, and you can just tell in the way that he plays, the way that he gets off of players, like he mimics Max so hard, it's not even funny, dude. Like it is just insane. But I'm telling you, I strongly feel Malcolm is about to wreck motherfuckers this year, dude. Like I would almost go as far as saying, like, don't be surprised if he ended up with more sacks than Max, dude. Like I'm dead ass serious, but Malcolm's just got all the tangibles, dude. He's got the build, dude. He's got the height, he's got the strength, he's got the speed, he's got the bend, the leverage. I mean, man, Malcolm's gonna be a dangerous motherfucker, dude. When he gets going, I've said that's why I believe Tyree will be used in and outside in rotational plays, man. Like he'll be dominant on the DT, but depending on pass or run type plays, they'll play him on that edge too. So, but either way, let's move on to moved on over here to Patrick Graham. Listen to some of the things he had to say. He had a lot of good things to say here too. So.
In your system, you bring back 9 of 11 starters and 1 new one, Christian Wilkins. There's a lot of continuity here from what you guys built last year. Do you feel that where the starting point is this year is a little bit different than where it's been the first few years?
Each season is so different, and the players, it's great to have some of the leadership back and the signal callers. That's a positive in terms of the relationship I have with them and them being excited.
Where's that at?
But does it feel different?
I don't know.
Slightly.
It's almost
But we know what we
day.
have ahead of us, and I'm excited about that.
Patrick, how much because of all the changes last year midseason, how much do you get to change your defense this year? Do you I mean, obviously it worked really well, but you're known as a tinkerer.
I enjoy being in the lab and with the players we have who have high football IQ, that embrace those challenges of the tinkering, I guess. It's definitely fun for me. And again, it goes back to each year's different. And if you just try to stay the same, people will catch up and, then we'll get passed by. So there's definitely a little tinkering going on. We'll see, what sticks, and we'll put, the best version of our defense out there, at the beginning of the season, and hopefully it keeps improving.
Part of that tinkering brought Tyree inside a little bit more as the year went on. Can we expect to see that a little bit more? And what are your observations of Tyree now that he's had an off season where he can really devote all of his focus to football?
Well, the move in the defensive end inside, that's always been a part of just like for any rookie edge rusher, both for myself and for Robbie Leonard, who's our D-line coach, who does a great job. It teaches them to use their hands, and because they're dealing with a more immediate block from the guard or the center. So I thought that was really critical to Tyree's development. That's going to help him out on the edge. I've told you before, we utilized that before in the past in different spots I've been. That was good. And then with the whole offseason, doing what everybody else is doing. I don't want to single him out, but they're all working hard. They got a great kinship or camaraderie going on in that D-line room. It's infectious. It's spreading throughout the defense, and you can always feel those guys out there on the field. Whether you hear them or you feel them, it's a beautiful thing to see.
How big is it that Tyree's healthy, though? He doesn't have to worry about trying to rehab. All he has to do is worry about just football.
Good. That's an easy answer. I could, go on and on, but.
What is like a disruptive force like Christian Wilkins do to the middle of your defense? Really, everybody else in the defense do.
Well, Christian, the good thing about that, he's been successful in this league in the past. I was fortunate to be there in Miami his rookie year, and just to see the player he's developed into is pretty, awesome to see. And obviously, that's another tool for us to use on the defense. That's going to be positive for us in terms of. I think he's someone that requires, multiple hands on him, or let me say, more than 2 sets of hands on him. So that's a positive right there. You got him, you got Max, and then the other guys, John Jenkins. He's tough to block one-on-one. It's something that we preach with our defense. You can't get blocked one-on-one, and the more guys that you have that can, get that done and have production off of that, the better off we'll be in terms of our pass defense, run defense altogether.
You talked about how infectious that defensive line is in the development of Christian Wilkins, not just as a player, but as a leader. Have you noticed, or what are the changes you've noticed just in him as a leader and being vocal across that line?
Even when he was a rookie, I don't want to live in the past, he was vocal, he had leadership, he knew he was good. That's why he was drafted when he was drafted. And now you see he's just matured as a man. He just matured as a man, and not to say he was immature before, but it's just fun to see guys develop and grow. You drafted them for a reason, whether it was Chris and Flo at Miami, they drafted him for a reason to see him mature and where he's at in the NFL in terms of being one of the better players on the interior. It's just fun to see that development.
Patrick, when new position coaches are added, a lot of coaches make that decision or general managers, but AP wanted you in the process. What did you like about Ricky Manning that really stood out to you as a cornerback coach?
Ricky, he comes well, respected in terms of his football knowledge, his energy, played the position, been fortunate. I like the fact that we've had DB coaches, Jason Simmons, who's now at Washington, guys that have done it, especially for me, who, again, I've been more of a front guy my whole career. It's always a benefit for those players to have somebody that's done it, and I think players gravitate to that, just like they did the last 2 years.
When you face the two tight end defense or offense, what kind of challenges does that present?
One, they can have 2-3 man surfaces. It's a benefit for us when you have an open surface. So when I mean open surface, a 2-man surface, that's a benefit. How are they going to deal with that? Especially when you have a player like Max or a player like Malcolm who's on the edge. Like, how are they going to account for him? Are they going to leave him singled, or are they going to bring somebody over? Once you go to 12 personnel, you got a chance to close both edges, which makes it tougher on the pass rush. Then the check with me run game that comes into play there. And then if you have the unique situation of having pass catching tight ends, one time the formation could look like traditional 12. Next time it could look like traditional 11 personnel. It could look like 21 personnel. So it forces us to go through a bunch of communication, and it's good to get that work.
I know it's a small sample size so far, but what have you seen from Richardson? And what are you looking for him to do to grow to become a consistent contributor this year?
Like most rookies, has a lot to learn, but he is long, and he is fast, and he's willing to work. So those 3 things right there, I'm good. So those are positive. When you got somebody, so when you're long, fast, and you're willing to work, it's something to work with, but he has a long road ahead of him as a rookie. He just doesn't know yet. That's the only thing.
Along those same lines, Trey Taylor is a presence, I think, as a leader and as a player, he has been throughout his college career. What have you seen out of him, and what are your expectations for him at this level?
Just in terms of, again, I want to single out the rookies, but thankfully they've been all in here working really hard. And I believe that, his leadership is, whether he was a leader before or not, he's going to be forced into a leadership role as a safety. They got to make communication calls. They got to talk to the corners. They got to talk to the linebackers. They have to talk to the front. So interested to see how it plays out. This is day 2 of being out there on the field with the vets. It's going to be a lot different talking, to whoever it was at Air Force or one of those rookie mini camps. And now you got to make a call to Malcolm. You got to make a call to Spillane. These are grown men that, you got to say it with some authority, get it out, be right, or they might turn around and look at you crazy. So he has a lot to learn, but thankfully we got GA is a great.
He says Malcolm over and over and over at that
He's working
position,
guys.
over and over.
Mentioned, some of the younger cornerbacks and defensive backs, but Ja'Cory and Bennett went through that process last year, and there was some good, there were some struggles, typical of a rookie player. What did you see in terms of the growth for him and how it's kind of applied to where he is right now?
Part of it is just, getting the reps. You got to see it, until, you have these dreams of being in the NFL, you play high school ball, play college ball, and you get here and you just realize it's a different game. It just is. I mean, there's still tackling, blocking, all that stuff right there, but it's a different game, and seeing the route combinations, understanding that they're going to try to isolate you for the run game, with crack or play situations. So what I've seen is the film study. I've seen him ask the right questions. I've seen him narrow down what his focus is by stage. So phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and being able to really zero on that so he can improve his craft, and then leading into training camp.
Let's do two more. Let's go to the biggest terms of growth with Malcolm Kuntz from the time that maybe met until now. Like, is there a main attribute that you really see him develop?
For Malcolm, okay, 2 weeks ago, we were doing drills during the phase 2 process, and I was in the back of the D-line group, and I just saw him coaching up one of the younger players. And I mean, coaching them up with authority. It's like this, do that. Once you see that, that's showing command of his craft. And when you hear that, it just, again, I tell you guys all the time, as a teacher who happens to teach football, I mean, I was just proud. I was giddy. I don't know what defensive coordinator should use the term giddy, but I was giddy. I mean, just to see him do that. So now you're seeing a young man, developing true mastery of his craft, where he's able to go ahead and coach others up with authority. I was impressed. It's just the confidence he has right now.
Last one, Deshaun. Last season, something a few players said pretty often is that you've been pushing them to not just be a good defense, but be a great one. What do you feel like you guys need to accomplish this year in order to make that leap?
Put in the work. Keep, extending the goal a little bit each day. I know all the guys talk about 1% each day. That's what we got to do. Just put in the work, keep pushing that line forward a little bit more, and we'll see how the chips fall. Thankfully, we have a bunch of guys on the team who are high achievers. I like to think of myself as someone that wants to achieve high goals, and we set those goals and we do what we got to do to try to accomplish them. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
That's what I said about Kuntz, man. I mean, he's high on Kuntz big time. Is there anything you want to add to it, Ozzy, or not? I mean, otherwise we're going to hop off here right now.
Yeah, I'll just add that I agree with you, man. I think if Kuntz can keep progressing the way he is, he could definitely be that guy at the other side of Max Crosby. And if that happens, I think we're going to keep Barry pretty much in the middle permanently if that happens. Well, not permanently, but the majority of his, 80% of his snaps going to be in the middle. Because, I mean, if you have Max, Kuntz, and Tyree, I think Tyree's going to be the one in the middle majority of his snaps. And then you have, obviously, Max and Kuntz on the outside. So I think that's going to be deadly. I think I can see a 12-sack season for Kuntz, to be honest. I mean, it depends how it plays out across the board, like what you were saying earlier, with the average might be 11, but it's gonna, one might get 14, one might get 10, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But I can most definitely see somewhere between 40 to 45 sacks just between our front four if everything pans out.
Well, dude, believe me, I can see it too. They got a lot of great players right there, man. And it's gonna be a really good team.
I agree, bro. And then, I mean, you got other guys in the secondary at the linebacker position that can also, get a couple, 1 or 2 sacks as well. So we could be looking at a 50 plus sack season easy.
I think we'll be in a 50 plus.
Yeah, I think we will too, man. I mean, we got too much talent on this team not to. I mean, if I think it would be a disappointing season if we say we win 10 games, right? But I think we could still be a disappointing season defensively if we're under say 40 sacks. If we're under 40 sacks, then that's a disappointing season. If it's like 40 to 45, I'd say that's a decent season. But I think we should be at that 50+ range with the talent that we got. Like, you know what I mean? Depends on, we have to look at, I think even with the teams we're playing, even though we've got a kind of a hard schedule, that's like when you're dividing it by 17, that's not that many sacks if you think about it per game. Not with the talent that we've got. Like, we've got 4 guys just in the front 4 alone that are like 10+ sack guys. So, I mean, you average that out, and let's just say that's 40 right there.
That's
then
facts.
you
And
get
you're
Nate,
talking
and
about
then you got
11
Nate
players
Hobbs.
on the field at one time.
Yeah,
So
you got 11 players. That's just 4 of them, and then you got guys like Nate Hobbs can get 1 or 2 sacks in a season. So that's, let's just say, argument's sake,
you
that's
got
one. That's
Eds, and then
41.
that's not even talking about
And
Jones
Splain will
or
get
Richardson
2 sacks. He got
or
2 sacks last year.
anybody.
That's 43, and so we should be at the minimum of 40+. But you know, it just depends how it plays out. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm saying 50+.
Heck yeah, Rudy, you have anything you want to add before we hop off?
Yeah, I would say that we got a lot of pass rush. I think that's our greatest strength on our defense is the pass rush, which will help the pass coverage. And yes, we got some. I like to see a lot of competition with the cornerback position. That would be very interesting to see in the preseason. And I do think that you could see Malcolm Kuntz and Max Crosby getting equal numbers, if not one's better than the other. I think Wilkins is going to put a lot of pressure. And then if we put like Tyree Wilson in some of the positions, like we play nickel on a 3rd and 15, you'll put Tyree Wilson next to Wilkins, and you have a 4-man rush. Even if they don't blitz, I don't think any team can stop that front 4. You know, I think I could see us having, maybe Tyree Wilson might get 5 sacks as a, which would be good for like an interior guy, and Wilkins could probably get 5 or 6 too. And then, Malcolm Kuntz gets 11 or 12, and Mad Max Crosby gets about like 13 or more sacks. And, I think the numbers, even if they don't put like Max numbers drop a little, we can still have a high amount of sacks. The numbers could be even up, and it's a team effort. It doesn't matter who gets the most sacks. What matters is we get those sacks and we get those turnovers. That's the main thing. I don't think Mad Max Crosby cares about stats. All he cares about is winning. That's all he cares about.
No faith.
Facts. Well, if you guys don't have anything else to say, man, probably gonna hop off right here. And
no, I'm good, bro.
All right, heck yeah, appreciate all you guys showing up. Like always, man, we'll probably be back here live on Saturday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Pacific or Eastern, 11 p.m. Eastern time. So outside of that, we really do appreciate you guys always showing up and stopping by. Until Saturday, peace out, stay safe, Raider Nation for life, baby.
Later, everyone.
Bye, guys.